Hello, testing.
Yeah.
Ice.
Yeah.
Icicle.
I am a musician. In
Test,
the
test,
studio.
testing.
I love it.
There we go.
A musician in the studio always helps with the mic check for the morning. Good morning, you're joining Mandy with the Soulfully Sustainable Radio Show here on Jess FM. Again, I don't actually know which microphone we're using, so we're just going to kind of cut the difference.
Yeah.
This morning, as in every Monday morning when I come on live, there's always something that has happened that has caused me pause or caused me to sort of hesitate or kind of rerouted my day. And this morning was absolutely no difference. And you're going to notice that you were expecting Kim Overs of Naturistas to join me in the studio today. And we have Victoria as Naturistas representative today. Kind of a last minute thing, Kim wasn't feeling well, and so here we are. So as I'm settling into having had one train of thought or intention, or I'm not even sure, because as all of you know who listen, I don't script my shows, and so I didn't really have like a list of things to talk about, but I had a sense of who would be in the chair. And so it changes when there's a new essence here. It changes. It's exciting, and it's got me a little bit on edge this morning.
We're talking hockey.
Oh, right. And then we drug our conversation to a place of our children being in hockey, which seems like a million miles away.
Yeah.
In different realities sometimes.
Do we need to turn
Let's
Does
try
it be
it.
a sound thing or?
Not sure of anything. Thank you.
And I brought Mandy some soap, Rocky Mountain Soap Company soap from Naturistas, and a chocolate.
Oh, so one of the beautiful things about Naturistas has always been that they have sample chocolates when you move your tail. So thank you. I was with my friend Bobby's little guys this morning. They were talking about when they were at Naturistas the last time, and they were reminiscing about who got the chocolate on their way out the door. So
It's a good treat for the kids.
it is a good treat, adults included. So this is the Soulfully Sustainable Radio Show here on Jess FM. As always, with the Jess FM listeners, the opinions and conversation and experiences and what Victoria and I both share about our lives and where we're at in relation to this business here in town, which I'll talk a little bit about here shortly, are the opinions. They are our opinions. They are not the opinions of Jess FM necessarily. Everything that comes out of our mouths, whether we plan it or not, belongs solely to us, and it's based on our truths and our experiences in life. So. So welcome. Today is Monday. I've had a little bit of a hiatus. I've been out with my last couple of shows and out in the community, so to speak. I came last Monday. Who was I with? Oh, Chris Robinson of the Purple Carrot. And I just called her up and said, I don't want to be in the studio. I'm coming to your space. And I almost did that to you guys this morning as well. It's really neat. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different environment. We get to be in your natural environment. And also being able to sort of showcase your space as well is a neat thing, especially for those listeners who haven't been. It still surprises me after this many years that some folks don't know about Naturistas.
Yeah, we're a hidden gem.
You are. So I had this conversation recently with someone on the weekend about where Naturistas is in town. Naturistas is a healthy living store. Your feel-good shop is your slogan, I suppose. And I was having a conversation with someone over the weekend, I think it was at the trade fair in Monarch, and describing where you guys are at always rotates around the little white house behind the Royal Bank that looks like it doesn't belong.
Number 420.
You're right next door to that. So what I find is people know where the little white house is.
Yeah, it's true. And now there's the bus station going across the street from us. So
Right.
7th Street, 424.
Yeah, it's 424 7th Street.
So,
so if you, for whatever crazy reason, haven't heard of Naturistas or actually been in, you should pop in. Number one, they have chocolate, and number two, they have really amazing, I'm gonna use the word staff, but it's not staff. Even I had the privilege of working there when Lori, the old owner, owned Naturistas a number of years ago, and it's a group of people who really share connected passions and are there, and that's evident by the service you receive and the products that are on the shelf and the interactions in the community. So I'm hoping today, as we delve around in sustainability as it relates to one of our local businesses and the folks who are there, sharing in that experience with you, that we can kind of hash out some of these things, and you'll get to know a little bit more about who you guys are and where you're at. So before we jump into Naturistas, so I'm always really clear that we have a lot of nominalizations as a people. So we have these words and they become code words to express experiences. They're not, you can't put a pound of money in the back of your car. So you can put loonies and you can put toonies, but you can't put a pound of money. It's an idea, it's a concept, it's a notion. And business is that for me. So Naturistas for me is a community, an experience. It is a business in the sense that it sells things, but it's an entire interactive relationship space, I suppose. And so I know that it's only made up of whoever is there in those moments. So whoever's working, whoever's coming in for staff or for customers, coming in and out for the chiropractor and things like that. It's a different flavor every moment of every day because of that.
Yeah.
So really aware that Kim's not here and you are. So let's start with you and who you are. And for those of you who don't know, I don't even know that I've advertised it yet. Victoria is scheduled to come on to the show on November 5th-ish, that Monday. I think we'll do some pre-recording for the show. But I'd already invited her on, so it was this really crazy thing of, well, how do I talk about Naturistas, but I can't skim over who you are, because I already asked you to come and play and tell me about your journey of sustainability and permaculture and all the cool things that you're into. So we have to start there. I don't know that we'll redo that in the next show, but we'll kind of see where that goes. But tell me about you and how you came to be in the natural health field.
I was born and raised here in Lethbridge, and I ran through the coulees most of my life with a dog or otherwise. I spent a lot of the time down in the coulees, and I love plants. Initially I had studied music and music theater, and I love that world as well. I love music as well. So yeah, I did that, and then I came back to Alberta, and I went to Toronto, I went to Vancouver, I went to India, I met my husband, and then we came back to Calgary, and I did school at Wildrose College, so I did the herbology program, and it eventually led me back to Lethbridge, and I'm back walking the coulees with my dog nightly, and and back to that's what's got me really into medicine and plant medicine and working at Naturistas
Well, it's kind of an extension of, in business or in jobs, I find, most of my life I find a place to compartmentalize. Like, here's my private life, and then here's my public life, or here's my business life. I don't think that's actually quite sustainable. I think there's a different way to approach that I'm just living my life and I'm filling it with the things that I love to do. So that's a great marriage to continue to be able to share your knowledge and your skill and your curiosity and your fun and all the things that really lights you up about in what you do for work. It almost isn't work in that way.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the ladies I work with are great, and the customers are really wonderful. Like, every time somebody walks in, it's a new dynamic, and it's really, I love Lethbridge. I'm glad I came back. It's a great place to be and raise a child, right? So
That's kind of cool. You get to share that with your son too. So I'm still torn in terms of. I feel like there's an agenda. I don't like it when there's agendas. So we're gonna forget Naturistas altogether. Let's keep talking about your journey of sustainability. Your what you've dabbled in, what really lights you up, what are the things, because you've talked about the herbology, and that's a big piece of that.
I had met my husband in India. I had gone over there to an ashram, and I studied a yoga teacher training, and we went off together later on, a couple of years later, and did permaculture. We worked on an organic farm, which took me into gardening and permaculture, because I just grown up with aunts and stuff like that who had all had gardens. So it got me really into gardening, and it got me really into permaculture. So we, went and did that, came back, and that's what's been sort of the, I don't know where to go either. So
That's okay. They inform each other, so it's not that we have one training or another and that's like the thing, right? Your experiences growing up in the coulee, I would imagine, integrated into who you are, and that's how you see the world, and then that's what you continue to create. For me, my leap into permaculture was just the next layer of, at the time it was food security was probably the more interesting piece for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we discover layers within that of where we really love to be. And I imagine, and I'm assuming based on what I see on social media about you, is that that's now informing your music and your art and your craft as well.
Yeah. I've been writing about herbs and trying to keep them alive, keep people aware of A, what they look like, B, what you can use them for, you know. So yeah, it's keeping myself aware as well, right? And I use the music, and I'm learning through writing songs about, you know, the botany, and so that's what I've been doing lately with that. But yeah, and it's nice that I can work at a store like Naturistas, and then also do a passion of music and integrate them together. It is really a really nice thing.
Yeah, it is. And I've seen your son on some of the social media as well.
Yeah.
So it's like this family affair of weaving in and out, and one's informing the other, as opposed to mom's going to work now, and then you go to work, and then you shut the doors, and you leave the work, and then you go home. And it's just like the herbs weaving into your music and all of that.
Yeah, and I ran a day home for actually right before, so I started working at Naturistas a year ago, and before that I ran a day home. So he hung out at home until he was in grade 1, pretty much, aside from doing like a couple hours of kindergarten, and I tried to make it as nature-based as possible. So going down to the nature center, which is such an awesome resource we have here in Lethbridge, and the coulees itself, and hanging out around there and trying to keep him creative and you know, away from the TV all the time, which you know happens and it's fine, but trying to
keeping that connection with our natural environment and our ecosystems is difficult. There's too many screens, too many places, and when I was at my friend's house this morning, the grandpa had given the boys 2 old cell phones, like the old flip phones, and then 2 laptops that don't work and don't have batteries, but they were playing Office on them, and they're homeschooled as well, and it was sort of this trip of like, we have so much of this
in our lives,
that detracts and takes away from our connection with those plants, and
it can be good because we can connect with each other.
Yes, that's if we use it in a mindful fashion.
Exactly,
right? And that's a lot about that's for me what sustainability is when I'm able to find that balance for myself and what feels right, like the balance of how many hours to work or how many hours to be at home with our kiddos, or you know, whatever. There's probably a million things we could list of things that get imbalanced, and so the more of the things that I love and I'm really lit up and doing can interact and weave and create different environments, then there's none of that start-stop in the same way. So that's really great. Not everybody, I'm really clear that not everybody does work in places that really excite them and really further who they are as people. It's part of the thing that I talk to my kids about, although I think they just roll their eyes and continue life as they're teenagers, but I'd love for them to know if you can find a job that lights you up and makes you, fosters that.
And continues to educate you. Like that's what I really like about this. I love that we have all these different products that I'm interested in, and you know, like harmonic arts, and they continue to educate through them, and even just Rocky Mountain, and that we can learn how to make things ourselves, make our own lip balms and gift those and stuff like that. Like that's the lovely, and it's sustainable, you know. So
yeah, it is for sure. Okay, so that brings something for me too. One of the things that I love about Naturistas and the philosophy, and I don't know that that's, like, I feel like whatever it was that Lori created Naturistas as, there is a commonality between how Kim approaches it and how that group of you ladies there approach. I think there's a good bridge there. There's always individuality because they're different people, but there's no sense of competition in that. So you guys offer workshops and things to teach people how to make their own elixirs, or you offer those things as a way to take them home and do them yourselves, not a like you only have to shop at my store and this is the way it needs to be, but really having that, encouraging that.
Yeah, Lorinda and Kim have been really good about setting up some pretty awesome workshops and keep me educated as well. So again, that's an exciting thing for a place that you're working in.
Yeah, education isn't always offered in workplaces in that way, like continuing education. Even when I worked there, it was always like there was books you could read up on certain products and things like that. So One of the things that's unique about Naturistas as well is that I think it's somehow woven into the experience of resiliency and regeneration. So picking clean products from the beginning. I don't think a lot of people know, in my having left Naturistas as a worker and gone off into my world, when I talk about it, when I meet people who don't know which health food store to go to, one of the things I promote with Naturistas is that a lot of that legwork and research about what to bring in has already been done, and I don't think people realize that. So when I go to a generic box health food store, they bring in everything that's available, and they're oftentimes like your discount brands and things like that, and I'm not going to speak on a generalization that they're all not clean, but there are some of them that aren't, and they're touted as. So one of the things I appreciate as a consumer is that you guys do a lot of that research ahead of time.
Yeah.
So do you talk about that being a value, or is it just sort of worked into who you guys are? How does that?
It's a value to me, even because I was a shopper at Naturistas before that, and I worked at a health food store. I worked at Community Natural Foods in Calgary as well. So I learned a bit through there. When I came to Lethbridge and saw like the mega food vitamins, the whole food vitamins and stuff like that on their shelves, and it made me want to shop there as a shopper. I mean, they tend to be a little pricier, but I can actually personally feel the difference. I have a subtle composition, and everybody's different with their supplements, but I mean, there's various things, right? There's chocolate and the elixirs and the herbs, and the quality is quite good. Yeah, we're like the essential oils that we have. I work for Blaine as well, who is the essential oils that we carry, and he's also done his research as far as what he wants to bring in and what's high quality stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and even like with Blaine, knowing where those oils are coming from, so knowing the farmers as to where so it's not just a vat you're buying from some organization that has a catalog for it, but that we can assure that you guys have chosen suppliers that are A, local, and B, have given some thought into what products.
Yeah.
The cost of things is always an issue for people. Like I have lots of conversation in my own practice as a colon hydrotherapist with people about the importance of quality and whole food based as opposed to the $9.99 sale.
Yeah, and it's understandable. I mean, it's we don't all just have money to go spend on stuff. But I mean, the fact too that we're a local business, it is really like we're very passionate about what we do. We are researching things, trying to keep our eye on what's the best products to bring in and whatnot. Even if, like sometimes you can shop a couple of things with us, and then, if you want to go and find cheaper stuff. But there's also, I mean, we have the Busy Bees that come in. Trevor comes in with his farm stuff. So throughout the winter, there's the option of kind of the farmer's market without the farmer's market. There's just so many benefits to being part of that community. And there's benefits for the whole city. There's benefits as far as like if you go downtown here and if your eyes are seeing things that are dirty, or if you are grossed out of things, then come and be a part of the community, and shop in your local downtown and be here. Don't go out into the box stores outside of the community. Spend some time in here with people who are from here, and it's just such a nice feeling to go and shop at a place where you feel like you're interacting with people who are and not to say that there's people out there that are working out there. It's not to say it's not, but it
is a different environment.
You don't sit on your computer and tablet and just shop that way, right? Like we feel better when we communicate. We feel better when we connect, right? And we can do that online, but let's do it in person too, right?
Yeah.
And a shopping experience should be personable. You don't have to buy everything with us, but a couple things is helpful, and it keeps your community alive, right?
Yeah, it does. I like that shift of perspective. So I don't go to the mall. I might go once a year. I avoid it. When I have to go to Costco, I feel like I have to. I don't do well in fake lighting and all the people and the commercial stuff. It really makes me grouchy and ill.
Yeah, me too.
But it's a different experience. You walk in there and you see the wood and you feel the colors on the wall, and whoever you are, whoever's working there knows who you are for the most part, or will come over and create that reciprocity of, you know, just both of you being present there. Part of my experience in working there had a lot to do with people would come in, and lots of times people come in crisis, and there's things going on in their bodies and they don't understand, and they would leave with just a different perspective about the body. They didn't always take a supplement or something home. It might have just been drink lots of water and get some sunshine or whatever, go for a walk, have a bath, have a cry, you know, simple everyday connected experience. And it was never about the purchase. And in that you're free to purchase things, right? Like there's no pressure. It's a personable, kind community experience first. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I bet one of the best recommendations I had from like a health person in a health food store was, you know, drink lemon water in the morning with a pinch of salt. And not that that's going to cure everything by any means, but it's super helpful.
It goes a long way.
It does, yeah. So, and just to get a personable experience with somebody, and we're not doctors by any means. We don't, you know, if anything, we're a little bit witchy, or I am. I'm only speaking for myself. But
I like that piece. So I could probably actually just do the Naturistas interview, I think, in terms of all the great things you're doing. So I'm going to stop doing that and let you speak about when you look at the building and the space that's called Naturistas, there's things that you do different as an organization to reduce your impact and reduce your waste and shop local and all of those things that are important to sustainability and regeneration here in Southern Alberta. Tell me about some of the things that you do.
So we send our cardboard boxes to Roost to Roost, so that's another local company that does they'll take our boxes, and then they do, when people are moving out of their house or elderly people have passed on, then they'll I think they set up the estate sales and stuff like that for them. So we send our boxes with them.
So they're not even being recycled, they're being used again.
They're using locally. So that's good. And then the peanuts as well, the packing peanuts we send off as well to, I think it's UPS Recycling North is what it's called, so UPS North. So that's a good thing for businesses too, to send those off as well. And then we have a couple local people who make things small, you know, like Lorinda and her husband Tim. Tim makes these beautiful necklaces that we sell at the store, and he's a blacksmith. She's a herbalist. She makes a nice little salve as well that we sell at the store. We've got a couple different, we've got the refill options too on the shampoo and conditioner through Kogi, which is a company from BC.
I didn't know you had the refillables from Kogi. Okay, cool.
So any bottle, bring in and we'll get the weight and then refill that. So.
Okay, and I know that some of your suppliers too, like I was thinking about the nuggets specifically, when you do the research and you're being mindful about what even people you're ordering from, those are typically people who are trying to reduce their waste and have less of an impact just as a whole. And some of them even send the corn nuggets, like they can be composted completely. I know that there's certain nuggets and things like that, or plastic bags and stuff like that.
And we have the coffee, the level ground coffee, which the bags they're compostable as well.
Oh, great.
That's
awesome. That's a little bit about Naturistas. You guys have a sale day, I suppose.
First Friday. We do the first Friday downtown, first Fridays. So, and it's busy and it's fun, and usually there's like people come in and they hang out because sometimes we have like a hot drink going on. I bet in the winter we'll have some nice hot drinks going on, and different practitioners. So we'll come and chat about what they do. So
you actually get to meet the faces of the companies that you're purchasing from in there, which is really great. Oh, that's awesome. What do you think is valuable that we haven't talked about necessarily in terms of your experience in Naturistas, or what should people consider? There, I just threw you right under the bus.
Threw me under the bus. Well, I think it's lots of lovely stuff, and I know that there are men and women in Lethbridge who, would love to, like, there's just good gift items, like especially when Christmas comes.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the Rocky Mountain soap stuff.
Yeah.
We have lots of heart as people who are working there. There's 4 of us ladies that are working there. There's also a massage therapist, Brenda, in the back, and the chiropractor, Barkley. And yeah, everybody has a lot of heart, and we're kind of, again, a hidden gem. So it would be nice, you know, for especially when the holidays and stuff like that come around, walk around town, spend time in your community.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure there's lots of good things that are going on in Lethbridge as far as like there's good music venues, and they put the lights up at City Hall, so you know, to take the kids out. We've got the train table. That's a benefit.
Oh, right.
If you've got children
and
you want to go shopping, bring them. They can play on the train table. That was a saving grace when I had a young child.
That train table seemed like more than a decade of use, I think. And you can give them chocolates.
Yeah, yeah, and you get chocolates and get to chat with us.
Yeah,
so.
that's. So there's times where I go in and whoever's ringing me, and we just talk for 20 minutes about catch up and where you at and how you feeling, and how was your race, and when was the last one, or whatever. And there's no of that retail like $25.95 please, and then you move on.
Yeah,
there's connection.
We'll even pack your bags for you.
And they use these beautiful.
And we're good. We're organized.
Yeah,
we've got the paper bags, and they're very good. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so one of the other things that I think is really cool about Naturistas is it's always been, as long as I've been involved with the Sustainable Living Association, a massive supporter of that. And anytime I go to Kim and I say, this is what we're thinking about, she's like, great, just let me know what you need. There's no, she's just, and I know for small business specifically, that's more difficult.
Yeah.
You know, Costco has a different budget than what Kim at Naturistas does.
Totally, yeah.
So that, I know that means loads more than what it would for a box store to be able to do that. Not that we don't appreciate support from our larger companies as well, but it seems that the majority of our supporters as an organization are our small businesses.
Yeah, and she's super generous.
Yeah,
like, we've got actually 3 things behind us on the counter right now that she's like waiting for charities to cover, you know, whatever.
To donate. Yeah. She was at the Naturistas was at the Monarch Community Fall Bazaar and Tea we had this weekend too. So, you know, she's even traveled outside of her comfort zone and her city zone to just sort of bring it to people and showcase what you have. So there's a lot of zero waste items in the store. You guys are bringing in more and more.
Yeah, we've got the colibri, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, the little bags that, especially for snacks for
like
school.
The reusable
reusable bags. We've got the wax paper, any of the DIY stuff as well. And what else? There's the nut milk bags, which are good as produce bags as well for when you're going shopping. And they actually keep your produce quite fresh in the fridge, like way better than the junky plastic bags that you get.
Yeah, they do
there.
for sure.
And not that I've used those plastic bags for a long time. I always just get the produce and put it in my basket, and I get these dirty looks like,
your potatoes are rolling over or whatever.
But we use hydrogen peroxide to wash them for the most part, you know, especially if they've seen a lot of
hands and counters and totally. You have a lot of reusable containers. I'm just thinking of the shelf when you first walk in the store, and there's
coffee cups and
water bottles, which a lot of people know of in terms of like bringing our, you know, most of us nowadays have reusable coffee cups, although we forget it in different places. Or I do. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
There is it's
in
like
the car and it freezes, and then it's a different size. And
it drops and it's dented and whatever. But there's also like reusable ice cube trays that were metal and metal and glass. Do you carry the glass ones?
No, just the metal.
The metal straws.
The glass.
The straws.
Oh yeah, I know. Kim was asking me about the glass straws the other day. I just thought they sounded a little like I would have an accident with them, but I'm a klutz. So.
Yeah, I was gifted one for my birthday in January, and I was told if it breaks, bring it back, no problem.
Yeah.
So there must be some sort of an exchange program on it.
Oh yeah.
But I don't actually think I bonked it on anything, and it broke for me. So
really?
I can't own anything that nice.
No,
but they're gorgeous. They have little animals on them,
Aww.
and they're painted. And
we have the silicone ones.
Oh, great.
Which are really good. I do that with my lemon water in the morning in a mason jar, you know.
Yeah.
So those ones are good, and you can boil those to clean them. And
that's
and then the steel straws, the stainless steel and the cleaners and stuff like that. Yeah, and the metal boxes, the tiffin containers, which are also very good for lunches, anybody's lunch.
Yeah, they feel, so we struggle with this at our house between not using the baggies and my children not being responsible enough to carry my tiffin containers around.
Right, yeah.
Because they're going to lose it or leave it somewhere.
Yeah.
So sometimes they get the crappy old yogurt containers and then I get the tiffin ones. But there's a whole selection. So Naturistas doesn't just have food items or cleaners or supplements or any of those things, but it's a lot of the DIY, like you're saying. So making my own chapstick, I can go and there's containers, or making my own lotions, and you guys have things like that as well.
And that's a good thing. Last year, actually, for Valentine's Day, although we're thinking for Halloween to do something like this year, is last year we did the bath bombs. Like my son and I made bath bombs for the class instead of giving everybody candy. You know, because I mean, I'm not against candy for Halloween, but we do wonder why all the children are sick around this time of year.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
I mean, not that it's wholly candy, but it doesn't help.
It doesn't help anything. No, I have a child who's got an autoimmune disease right now, and it's a constant reminder of where it is everywhere, and you're bombarded with that choice point. And you couple like the supplies there to purchase for your DIY stuff, so if you want to do bath bombs or salts or oils or any of those things, but you couple that also with the workshops that are being held. Like any place that provides education for public, it's a big focus for the Sustainable Living Association, is how can we reach people with skills that help them empower themselves in their own journey of health, whatever that looks like, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally is. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about permaculture. I feel like I have you in the seat, so we might as well.
Yeah, we did the same. You did the Verge one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I studied with Verge as well in Calgary, and yeah, it was a great program. When we moved to Lethbridge, we did eventually buy a house, and I mean, I'm putting the water portions in place still. I feel I get really like, oh, I love this plant, or I love that one, so I just want to plant everything and have this beautiful garden before I have the foundation. But yeah, it's a slow one. But Rob says, what, 5 years, right?
Yes. and doing, you know, this piece of it, and then improving on or expanding upon your successes, as opposed to and then doing everything at once and having 10 projects. Yeah. So you said you had experience in India, that you were working on an organic farm.
Yeah, we were working on a amla farm. So amla is like a little fruit, really high in vitamin C. So we were working, it was mostly an amla farm. And yeah, it was a good experience. It was different, and we were sleeping in a mud hut with like, it was beautiful. I slept really well, actually. It had like a straw kind of thatch type roof. I'm not exactly sure what it was made out of. But yeah, there was one night my husband and I were sleeping, and I kept fruit in my guitar case sometimes to like, so that the rats and stuff didn't go in it. And I'm sleeping at night, and all of a sudden this like, something falls through the roof on top of me. And I don't know what it is, and I'm like, wake up my husband, I'm like, I think so, like something just fell on us. I don't know if it's a snake or what. He's like, oh, it's probably just a rat. And then like goes back to sleep.
I'm like, one of us has grown up there. That would gross me.
We need to get this out of here, because it's gonna eat all my fruit too.
It's the full nature experience.
Yeah, totally was. It was hilarious though, and I mean, yeah, it was a great experience to go there. And I grew up, my family had a farm out near Coaldale, so I spent a lot of my time as a kid out there and just being around the farm.
Yeah. What part of the plants really lights you up? Like, is it the medicine making? Is it the whole like botany piece of it and the relationship with the plant?
I like it all. I just think plants they're super interesting, and I mean, obviously the medicine too. Like right now, walking around the coulees and you see all the rose hips and stuff like that. I was grabbing a little bit the other day, but I go to the dog park too, so I'm like, ooh, you know,
which ones are peed on? All of them.
Yeah. So we went a little off the path.
Yes.
And I mean, it just seems like something that I could just continue to learn about, right? Continue to learn more. The people who are in that world are also loving and genuine, and you know, so I love to explore it and continue to learn. I still have a ton to learn, like even as, you know, as a herbalist and stuff as well, I'd love to continue on with classes. And there's always, in the summers they do, almost like they would do like a music festival, there's like herb festivals, right? And they're kind of integrating some music into them too, so.
Yeah, so you get the best of all worlds. So you get to go play, and then you can offset your ticket cost of being there. That's a win-win.
Go learn.
That's wonderful. Do you intend to start your own business and do some of the herbal part of it and making herbal medicines? Have you?
I haven't necessarily thought that far. With medicine, like with herbal stuff, I definitely love gathering stuff. So I guess at this point right now I'm gathering, and I suppose I'll sit in my kitchen like a mad scientist and put stuff together as far as teas. Like I'm really into teas, and I like to find stuff that people like. I love having people over to my house for tea and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe one day I'll do a combination of stuff like that, but I am kind of in all different directions because I love music and parenting and stuff like that, so trying to keep it all sustainable in my life without burning out can be a challenge.
Let's talk about that. You brought it up. Hard, not easy to do.
Definitely.
There seems to be a trade-off of like who Mandy is, and then who Mandy the mother is, and then the children and their time and all of those things. That's the magical. We will never figure it out. I think that's part of what we're here to discover as a species, perhaps even. But what are the things that you do to incorporate into your world that make it sustainable, or the things that you know you should do and you maybe don't necessarily do? Because sometimes it's not in practice.
I know, and I'm always working on it. I mean, my husband right now he's doing construction and carpentry, so sometimes I'm like right now we're renovating the house, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I could use like beautiful hardwood floors and all these things, but affordability too, right? I mean, there's certain things that we don't cheap out on, you know, but yeah, trying to make it all sustainable. I can be at a loss some days because I wasn't necessarily raised that way. I mean, my family are amazing people, but I was raised in Lethbridge and my parents owned a car dealership. So so it's a bit of a challenge for me, and sometimes I can be really hard on myself, like, but yeah, I suppose that it's always a learning practice, and you know, each year I look at it I like to think cyclically now, and you know, each year we're getting towards the end of the year, so right now there's a lot like compacting on us, and we're like, and getting our gardens and stuff put away, and looking at it and being like, oh, this is a mess.
Yeah, totally. Nothing's done up in a nice bow, right? Exactly. Anybody who grows food knows that never happens.
And I think the next step is just, I don't know, planting garlic maybe.
I keep, speaking of self-shaming, that's occurred every 4 days for the last 3 weeks. Oh, I gotta get it in the ground. We have some nice weather, so that won't be a huge issue. Oh, wow. Well, you're joining us with the Soulfully Sustainable Radio Show here on Just FM. Thank you for those of you who are listening. We are going live today with YouTube, which is a different format than I normally use, so I will post it to Facebook after the radio show is finished, and you'll be able to have it, and we will tag Naturistas for those of you folks who have not been into the store. You really need to pop in.
Come visit us.
Come visit them. Go have a cup of tea. I know the Dandy Blend is on sample.
We do the Dandy Blend. And
it's one of my favorite drinks. I love it.
It's delicious. It's really good, and I like it. I do it sometimes with like cream and honey. Because that's how I like my coffee. So. It's good. And also, I mean, those elixirs are so good. It's coming on hot chocolate season, and we're getting this cacao paste from Harmonic Arts. Oh, it's so good when you blend it up. And my son loves it too. Like, I can give him a nice, you know, hot chocolate that's not just sugar. So
that's great. There was a new brand that you guys brought in. I saw a picture of it on your social media. Little brown bags. It had like I can't remember. Kim had them.
I want to see like Yago or some.
I can't remember. Anyways,
come check it out.
Delicious. Check it out. It is on their Facebook. But just based on the package,
I know it looks delicious. I'm like, it'll be a Christmas present for somebody in my family.
And then you're gonna invite yourself over. So you can have a cup, right? The elixirs that Victoria is referring to are from Harmonic Arts. I think that's exclusively. I don't know that you have. Do you have other elixirs from other?
No, yeah, just from them. I mean, unless you can obviously use. We have the Organic Traditions cacao paste.
Yes.
All the different stuff as well. So
yeah,
I
so you
have
could
all that
interchange them as well. So for those of you who don't know what Harmonic Arts is, I'm going to give them a plug too because I use them all the time. I talk about them. I teach elixir classes from time to time, and I just love them. So as many local businesses as I can support, I do. That's where the majority, if not, I would say, well, absolutely the majority of my money goes. Harmonic Arts. So Yarrow is the owner. I don't know if other people own Harmonic Arts
I'm
or
not sure either. Yeah.
But Yarrow is the owner, and Yarrow is the son of Terry Willard, who you took your herbology from through Wild Rose College. Terry is sort of like, in my mind, one of the original herbalists, Canadian herbalists, and you can find them on YouTube, and they have some great, hilarious, and absolutely quirky videos that you can learn from, but they teach you how to make elixirs and your own syrups and all of these different things, and this is one of the companies that Naturistas supports very heavily. You guys bring Yarrow in from time to time. And so the elixirs are whole foods, and they're ethically sourced, and they're hand forged in some instances, depending on what it is. And it's really great. Do I sum that piece up pretty good, or do you have anything else to add to that
that's
company?
good. They're tasty and
they're delicious. They are. All you need is
and
a
a
little
good
blender.
little kick, right? Because I mean, sometimes I do coffee. Like I like to have an espresso every once in a while, but yeah, it's nice to have something that it feels good, and they're quite sustainable with their methods of foraging or their methods of getting different things as well, and even their packaging and stuff like that as well. I think it's compostable, or they're moving towards more compostable packaging. But yeah, they're just educate and stuff like that as well, right?
I think if education is built into a business model, that by nature makes your business more sustainable. And the volunteerism. So talk a little bit about what you guys do as a group. I don't know if that's official as a Naturistas thing, the soup that you guys make.
The Soup Sisters?
Yeah. You guys seem to volunteer a lot.
Kim does, I did my first time last time, which was really awesome. The Soup Sisters and Broth Brothers, I believe is what it's called. And you go in and you can have a glass of wine, and you make soup with a bunch of other ladies who have all come in to do it, and then that soup goes towards different charities that they've handpicked throughout the city, and people get to eat it, and it's delicious. Actually, I got the recipes in that week. I went home and I made soup all week. My husband was kind of like, I'm done with soup.
We have something solid.
But it was good. Like, the soup is it's delicious, and the recipes are nice, and you meet really cool people again in your community again, and you're doing a good thing. So it's a nice night out for sure.
Yeah, it is. I bought the Soup Brothers Soup Sisters, whatever. I bought the cookbook at some point, maybe about 3 years ago. Didn't realize we actually had a branch or people who did it here until I saw Kim's posts. But the cookbook is well worth owning.
I bet.
They're tried and true recipes, and they're local too. So when you look at the cookbook, it talks about this came from Chef so-and-so in Calgary, and this came from Chef so-and-so in Nova Scotia. And, and they're adapted for that as well.
Yeah, I saw one in one of the books that was like Jan Arden put it in.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Good. And it's soup season,
It is. It's just starting.
Time to eat soup. I love this time of year. It's my favorite.
It is mine too. I soup my family out as well because I do a lot of I cook almost exclusively, and by the spring they're like, I can't eat another bowl of stew or curry or soup. It just can't happen.
Well, then it's time for salad. The greens are
by
coming
then
up.
It is absolutely. I'd love to do a tour of your space next spring, summer as things start blooming.
Of my garden?
Of your garden space.
Yeah, well, I have a whole bunch of amaranth because I planted amaranth last year. And it just reseeded, so it's gone up like crazy.
Yeah, it will. I know at the ashram and near Nelson, I spent some time there, and that was an issue for them too. It would spread pretty quick.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's such a beautiful ashram.
It is. It's incredible.
We just went by there one day and spent the time and went walking down in the rock, down by the
The
by
lake
water
edge,
there.
yeah.
It was beautiful.
Well, and the rocks, it's like crystals. They're all, they look like crystals.
Yeah.
It's a crystal beach. It's a crystal
It's
pebble beach.
magical,
It
yeah.
is, it really is. I did a program there the first weekish of October, maybe the second week of October, first week of October, one year, and I was swimming in the water because it was just warm and, oh man, and you don't normally swim in the water that late because it's cold, but it's just the perfect climate.
Yeah.
They've done a really great job on that property.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, do you have any upcoming events? Is there anything else? I mean, when's First Friday? Day
Yeah, First Friday, November, I'm not sure what it is yet, but the first Friday in November.
Come on down. There's always samples, like you said, and different folks from different communities and all of that sort of jazz. So make sure you pop in and check
Come
it
by,
out.
say hi.
Yeah.
Check out what we have. Christmas gifts.
Yes,
coming
it's
up.
that time.
Mhm.
It is. I can feel it already,
Mhm.
especially for handmade things. It's like, okay, I got to get on that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out, and especially last minute because it was early this morning. Were you scheduled to work?
Yeah, I'm at work right now,
Okay.
so I'm just taking a break.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, make sure you give Kim a big hug for me when you get back there, and make sure you guys check it out. Again, still super shocked that some people haven't heard of Naturistas, but next to the Little White House, and I think it's 4247 7th Street South, and behind the Royal Bank downtown. And I love Victoria's invitation for you to just go around and walk around downtown. One of the things that makes us connected to our environment is walking in our environments, whether they're urban or they're not. Whether we're going through a forest or a field or just walking around downtown, getting to know some of the smaller businesses and the little cafes and music places and venues. That allows you to connect with your community more. You get to see the faces and the spaces and what's going on. You have your finger on the pulse, and you're more apt to protect that and be with it and share and support those businesses.
Yeah, and it makes your community safe, right? So you know, there's a lot of complaints about that lately, about the safety of our community, and if we're not spending time in it, if we're not here, then
yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. That's a whole other conversation.
It is.
But get out, have a look at your small. And the other thing that's happening in downtown Lethbridge that a lot of people don't realize is a lot more music venues that are allowing children to be there.
The Owl.
So we have the Owl, and
which is awesome.
It's always good. My kids love going there. They think they're really grown up going to a pub. So.
Yeah, and their food is good too, and
is.
it's got amazing art on the walls. So
Yeah, it does. Stephen would be happy to have you there anytime. So we're going to have Victoria back on the Soulfully Sustainable Radio Show at some point in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, leading into November 5th. I feel like maybe you're my next guest because I think there's a bit of a pause. So what I'm going to actually make her do, because we already hashed a lot of this out, is make sure you mark that in your calendar because I'm going to make her bring her guitar and she's going to come sing for us.
Yeah.
Which makes me really excited. Music is a big part of our sustainability in our communities and the connection to our artists, whether you're a poet or you're a musician or you're a painter, it doesn't even matter. So to showcase that. And then she can talk to you a little bit too about the relationship between her experience of permaculture and her songs and her songwriting and sort of which way she leads in that. Because that's been really fun for me to watch. Even your little days where you're just by yourself in your house and you're posting what you're singing. It's incredible. So
thanks.
And thanks for the soap. Rocky Mountain Company is a local camera company you guys need to check out too. And Iron in Time as well. I see that she brought Tim and Lorinda's card here.
Iron in Time.
One of the great things that they have at the store is Lorinda makes an amazing salve out of lots of really great herbs, and you can just use it as a lotion, but it's a healing salve as well.
I use it on my lips, on my hair.
Everywhere. Yeah, me too. I absolutely do. We take it with us everywhere in the summertime because when somebody gets an owie or a boo-boo, a scrape or a cut or a gash, as it were, it helps a lot too. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was fun.
That was great, especially last minute. All right, you're listening to Mandy with Jess FM on the Soulfully Sustainable Radio Show. Thank you all for sticking with us today. And go check out Naturistas.
Yeah.
I will give you an update on the events and things on the Facebook page. There isn't a lot happening in terms of the LSLA in the next little while. There is a workshop coming up at the Purple Carrot that I'm doing, body oils, infusions, and first aid, I think I've called it. Coming up I should know the answer to this, in November sometime. So make sure you check that out on Facebook. Thanks for your time.
Do we know how to stop that? Nope. It helps if you know how to shut it off.
It isn't off, for the record.
Well, thank you. Sorry I got a little lost there.
No, not at all. All right, live.
My train of thought go?
What do we do with this?
Are we still trying to go?
Yes.
We're still here. Yeah.
I love it.
You still have the sandals on. That's so good.
I do. It's been,
We're so lucky in Lethbridge with the sun.
yes, it's been
Such nice weather.